Okay, so this is March 5th. I had a day in. I have 2 days to vlog. Today, I'm just going to get straight into it. This is the Conspiracy Broadcasting Network. They decide to keep these white SUVs around, and all of a sudden, there's a whole alteration of vehicular patterns outside. And I'm just going to go straight into it. I went ahead and made a lot of the channel private. So I'm going to be giving out snippets of what's going on presently so that I can reference it. See, the problem is now I have to go and I have to defend myself. And I'm going to litigate, I know for a fact, sometime in the future, near future. And the problem is I have these assholes, third party agencies or people. I don't know what the deal is, but it's obviously it has to be an intelligence agency of sorts, because I'm supposed to go and defend myself in the court of law, and I'm supposed to litigate, okay, in the court of law. And the problem is these people are removing evidence and tampering with the evidence, from completely removing it and then specifically taking dates, times, and specific events, specifically with the police department that I'm going to have to go to court and have a discussion with, right? Technically an arraignment, right? And so now I have to go and talk to them in court and explain myself, defend myself, okay? While I have in the past, my interactions erased, okay? Because I carry my Bob Love, my camera with me, okay? Or my audio on my phone, okay? And I have this agency or entity removing those interactions. And like I said in my previous videos of the Conspiracy Broadcasting Network, this particular police department, and it's not just this city police department. It's not just the other city that I live in, and it's not just the county that I live in. This is a multi-state thing, and this is the same with up north in Alabama, where I had to deal with the sheriff up there, and the criminal got away with his felony charge, right? He got away and got it dismissed somehow, okay, when he wants to steal my possessions. So here's the thing, is they want me to hire an attorney and go through all this financial hardship, okay? And then I'm supposed to defend myself, but then they want to erase the information. They want to erase the records. They want to go through and tamper with my data transferring every time I plug in my brand new SD card. This isn't like I dropped water on it. This isn't like I dropped the device. No. This is, I just purchased it, pulled it out of the package, used it once, and now there's an issue with file corruption and the card going in and out, being removed remotely, saying it could be used, saying it can't be used. And then when you transfer only a few files, maybe like a 10 or a dozen or so, they pick out the specific one that you're trying to find, and then they erase it. I mean, how low can you go? How low can you go? I've already seen how low they can go, because I've been doing this over 10 years now, and covertly they were doing it before then, since I was a young teenager. Okay, so today we're out here 1 hour, literally. I timed it. It was 1 hour from the point in which I left my house, went and got the groceries, because I can't go into Walmart now. I can't go where I grocery shop. So if I choose to go grocery shopping, I have to order it online so I could just go pick it up. Because every single time I set foot inside, they're going to want to tamper and abuse everything that I buy. They're going to lay things out so things fall off the shelf, so things are not properly positioned. You go through there and they've rearranged things, putting a bunch of things together that are similar. So you have to sit there and accidentally choose, and they just predate on you. They just predate. It's nonstop predation, nonstop, okay? Nonstop predation, using semantics, right? All of my videos reflect that. I wanted to go to a monster truck show last winter, and I was going to adopt 2 dogs. So they took a monster truck toy and put it in the dog section. Right? And there's a bunch of things that they're doing. Now I'm just tired of walking around seeing the trash on the floor everywhere I go, and I pick up an item that's on my grocery list. And come to find out, check this out. Come to find out, I went onto my grocery list on the Walmart app and the website. And when you go to check out, this is exactly what I knew they were doing. When you go to check out, that on the website, that app in the website will ask you, hey, do you want to get the regular things? Don't forget your regulars. And they got this whole list of regular things that I buy. Just like I knew. Just like I've been saying for the past 3-4 months, ever since I started my channel. I said they're keeping tabs on the things that you purchase. And then whenever you go in there physically in person, they're going to have a bunch of abuse like trash, napkins, bags. Or what they'll do is they'll take the item that you want and they'll just leave one item. Or they'll take the item that you want and they'll put it behind something. Or they'll go put it over here. Okay? And they'll just have one of them and they'll go and do that. And it's always something. It's always something. You'll never just go over there and grab it. Ever. Okay? And it's always just nonstop abuse. And then when you go and navigate in between where you're going, they make sure to lay a bunch of things that are relevant to your particular train of thought. In this case, it's the color blue because I've got to go through this whole court thing in orange. So they're going to lay orange and blue everywhere. Orange and blue, orange and blue, orange and blue, orange and blue. And when I went fishing yesterday, it was nothing but blue trash all over the river. Nothing but blue trash all over the river and one bucket that was orange. And so they know they just pattern everywhere you go and they lay all these inanimate objects out to literally use ambient abuse by proxy. Ambient abuse by proxy. Today, 1 hour, going to the store from my household. Okay. Took me about 18 minutes to get there, 18 minutes to get back. Probably even shorter. I would even argue 12. Screen share. So I'm not going to get too crazy into it, but I leave the residence and it's relatively easy, like easy day. They have the first red vehicle here, but it's a red vehicle, right? Statistically speaking, 1 in 9 should be red. Everybody shows up. I'm not seeing any white SUVs, right? They're just playing with you at this point. Get to this intersection. That's always common denominator to have abuse right here. Notice no red vehicles here, no white SUVs, yada yada. But what happens is, and everything's just hunky-dory. It looks like it's just fine and dandy. But what they did was they just wait and they play this game with you all the time. Notice I'm coming around the corner. And this is where they're going to hit you, right here. Doink. So in front of you, you have this white SUV. Okay. In front of you, you have this white SUV, and that white SUV is going to drive in front of you the whole time. Drive in front of you the whole time until you come to this intersection. And then once you're at the intersection, they have these this police officer right here with his lights on. And they're trying to get you to disarm you over this threat and act like it's acceptable to abuse you and it's acceptable to have you stalked and followed. So you're just arrested and tasered because you have these white SUVs lingering around you all the time and intercepting you. And you see how they intercepted you in your line of sight around the corner. Okay. So around the corner is when they're going to show up. And this is it right here, right there, around the corner, just like that. So long story short, then the lights are on like this. Okay. And you're going to drive by this sheriff. Okay. And this is nothing but this disarming tactic for abuse. And so you have to drive slow through here and everything, yada, yada. And you're going to go a little slow through here. And then this is going to happen. And then you're going to keep going. Right. And everything looks almost relatively normal. You got a few vehicles interspersed, you know, they're doing what they're doing. It looks relatively normal. Okay, relatively normal. I have nothing to complain about here. Okay. So you're going to keep going, going, going. And they're acting like everything's just hunky-dory, just normal, you know. And pretty soon they're going to have the two white SUVs pull up. And so you're just going to be driving. And then they have, again, the police, the same thing. And so what they're doing is they're just, they're hazing you, essentially. They're literally hazing you. And this is not the first time. It's every time I've driven so far, every single time I have driven on bond, okay? They have taken these pairs, trios, or fours or penta groups of white SUVs, and they'll have a fucking a sheriff or some police deputy in the city, wherever city you're in, and have them appear. Like it's just fucking acceptable. Like we could just do whatever the fuck we want to do, right? And this is what I'm talking about. This is the permissive neglect, and in this case, this is their participation, okay? And so this is, I don't know, this looks like a sheriff. It looks like a sheriff. There is a sheriff building over here. But you could see what they did was they staged this here, and then they have this sheriff right here, right? So they were driving in front of me the whole time, knowing that I'm going to be driving, and they decided to drive in front of me to intercept me. And then they always use now the sheriff around me. And then they have this here, same thing. So anyways, I get here, come in here, do what I have to do. Remember, I don't go in the stores anymore because I'm just fed up with being fucking pestered and being touched. No one's touching anyone else in my fucking family. No one's doing any of this bullshit with fucking carts. So I'm just fed up with it. So now I can't go. I don't go in anymore. I'm just tired of it. I go, I order, I go pick it up, and then I do what I got to do. Okay, so I do this. I'm waiting. I push the numbers, do all that fancy stuff, get what I've got to fucking get in, get out. And then here's what they do. I'm coming out, and this white SUV intercepts me. This is what I'm talking about. Not only that, but the dude's completely in the wrong fucking lane, and his purpose is to startle you. This is their purpose, is to fucking startle you. And you'll notice that there's no alteration in the vehicles, meaning there's no other forms of abuse for some reason. Like usually there's a bunch of staged red vehicles or there's more white SUVs around. In this case, they're just going to take one white SUV and they're just going to use it to abuse you. Okay? And on that, he's going to make sure that he drives recklessly and cut through and make sure that you have to slow down. Literally intercepting you, literally. And the only way to do this is to cyber stalk you. Okay? That's the only way to do this. That's the only way to accomplish something like this. And not even, and then continue to drive. And this is what I'm saying. It's always a problem. This is 1 hour's worth of driving. Just not even an hour. Really, it's more like, I think 12 minutes from my house. So probably like less than 30 minutes. This is all I did today. I didn't go out anywhere. I didn't do nothing. I had to go do a bunch of stuff at the house with court and evidence. And this is what I have to deal with just to go pick up fucking groceries. They can't get you in the fucking Walmart. They're going to do this. And this is what I'm talking about. And that's what I'm imagining them saying is, how do you like that? That's what you hear me say. How do you like that? That's exactly what these fuckers are thinking. Is they're just going to continue to fucking abuse you. Okay? So then what they're doing here is they're amping you up. They're amping you up. And so the police are right here. And they're like, well, why didn't you just call us? And then what happens is they won't do anything or say anything. And they'll just drive you fucking insane. So it's like, I'm done fucking talking to these assholes. They obviously, after 11 plus years, don't fucking get it, right? If I said my right arm was bleeding, don't call them, okay? Because they'll check your left fucking foot. You'll bleed to death. So here's the thing. I keep going, and I'm coming up over the hill, and they're already anticipating your movement. They make sure that you run into the white SUV. It's the same thing. They just keep fucking doing this shit. And so instead of them bringing the convoys, they're just going to intercept you with the singular one. Okay. You're going to go, do this. And here's the thing. Now this sheriff, he changed sides. He changed sides over to the right. And then what they did is they have a new one waiting on back here in the right side, lingering for some reason. And this is all this intimidation factor, all of this, it's acceptable. There's nothing you can do, all this type of intimidation factor going on. And then you go about your business. Okay. But you'll notice too that if you're looking at the vehicles are not in their normal coloration pattern. Usually it's red vehicles or blue vehicles or something of alteration. But that's what I had to do just today, just to go to pick up groceries. I was still abused. I never even had to step foot inside because I knew that there was going to be abuse. I'm just fed up with it. I've been doing it for far too long. Over 11 years, I've been going into grocery stores, being abused and having my personal items tracked. And then everywhere I go in that department or in that Walmart or even in any store, really, whatever it is I buy, they'll keep track of it. If I'm doing research on a project and I got to go buy supplies, they're going to keep track of it. And they're going to have all this shit laid out, okay, to abuse you and harass you. And you can't just go about your business. This isn't that. It's evident that you cannot go about your business when you have people cyber stalking you. That's how they have accuracy and precision. You've seen it in the Walmart parking lot. Okay? These people don't give a fuck. You see how they drive, and then whenever you do something, if you did something like that, there would be a police officer waiting to catch you. If you did something stupid like that. Just like whenever I pulled off the road in the last two vlogs, and I have this asshole police officer pull behind me and then put his flashers on, and he stays there for literally like 3 seconds, and then he turns them off and then goes about his business. I have no clue what that's about. Every single day after my arrest has been a problem with police with the white SUVs. Every single day. And then they want to erase evidence and erase the videos of these officers that I have a report to, that I have to personally report to. I call the records departments for these police departments, and they don't even have but half of what it is that I've spoken to them about formally on record. And it's up to me now to write all this stuff up, and I have to defend myself. I don't get why I have to defend anything. People need to be defending themselves and answering questions for me. I don't need to defend anything. I don't get it. I really don't.